Nick Pope is a well-known personality in the field of UFO research, or as it's now known, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. In a recent interview, Pope expressed concern that first contact with an alien civilization could cause fear and global chaos. He suggested that world governments, which once considered alien life a fringe belief, may now be on the verge of finding out the truth about whether we are alone in the universe.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
I can only really speak with authority about the position in Britain, and to the best of my knowledge there, I don't believe there is a cover-up. I think the government has mishandled the issue. I think investigations have been botched, particularly, for example, the Rendlesham Forest incident, Bentwaters, one of our best opportunities to get to the bottom of the UFO mystery, and yet, because of embarrassment, jurisdictional issues about whether this was a British or American lead, and just simply the fact that there was nothing in the manual to deal with what do you do if one of these things lands. People ran around in circles and the whole thing was completely mishandled. But I think it's a step too far to say that because the government has mishandled the issue and because the government is overly defensive about this subject. No one likes to say there might be things in our airspace and we don't know what they are and they're faster than us. That's not the same as saying we know all about these things and we're keeping the truth from the people. I did that job for 3 years. I had the combination of high security clearance and need to know. So I'm as certain as I can be that if there was something going on, I would have been involved with it or got a hint about it. There is no smoking gun spaceship in a hangar in Britain. Now, if there is one in America, I don't know about it. So I'll give you a politician's answer. I can't rule out the question of there being a UFO cover-up in the US or elsewhere, but I'm as confident as I can be that the UK has been pretty straight on this issue, and indeed, of course, is now in the process of releasing its UFO.
Nick Pope claims he worked for 21 years in the British Ministry of Defence from 1991 to 1994. I can't verify this information. After going through the Freedom of Information Act document online, it appears the Ministry of Justice in the United Kingdom doesn't want to answer the question whether Nick Pope worked for the Ministry of Justice or not. Instead, they claim his documents might have been destroyed. The link to the document is in the description. Nick Pope also claims that he was the head of the US Department of Defense UFO study project. He said during his time at the US Department of Defense, he had come across several credible UFO cases. One such case involves a photograph from the Calvin incident.
There was physical trace evidence in terms of an assessment of radiation levels taken at the landing site. I mean, this wasn't lights in the sky, this was a metallic craft that actually was seen to land in a clearing in the forest.
The chap here in the blue sweater, now you've got a good view of it. What do you think it was?
I think it was a spaceship.
A spaceship?
Yep.
Why do you think that, in all seriousness?
Well, it had a hole through the middle, but it was sort of hard around the edge outside. The clouds couldn't pass through the outside of it. Could go through the middle though.
Have you ever seen anything like it before?
No, not nothing like that.
And how long were you able to see it?
I was up in the window, I saw it about 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yeah.
Was it sort of hovering or?
No, it's just going around like a wheel, just going over.
Now, you got a good view of it. Describe it to me.
Well, it was sort of blackish grey wing going across the sky. And it was dark on one side, and in the bottom it had a sort of little line through it, and it was moving across the sky slowly, and then it disappeared behind a tree.
Mr. Green, did you see the phantom object yourself?
I saw it, yes.
Now, how would you describe it?
Very much as the children did, it appeared to be a smoke ring. That's the best way that I can describe it, as a smoke ring.
Any theories as to what it
No
might be?
theories at all. None at all.
I mean, obviously people are going to speculate men from Mars or what have you. I mean,
The only thing I can say really is that I'm glad there were a lot of other people saw it at the same time as I did.
There are all sorts of secrets that government keep from people on all sorts of subjects. I mean, for example, my last job in the Ministry of Defence was in the Directorate of Defence Security, and as you can imagine, particularly post 9/11, there's all sorts of highly classified material going on that people don't have a clue about. So yeah, of course you can keep a secret.
So, what do we think about this? Either we're being visited by aliens, but no one in the government knows, or we're being visited by aliens, but the government knows about it and then hides it. Or maybe we're not being visited by aliens, but the government is promoting the idea that we are being visited by aliens. Be very sure that the surge in UFO or UAP discussion activity in the US looks like someone is preparing for something big. Maybe the government can no longer keep a secret and it's time to start revealing. Or maybe the government is preparing for a big deception. Thanks for listening to the Independent Islamic Republic of Foreign Policy Hawk. Intergalactic this time. Have a wonderful night.